Good evening, everybody. It's Dr. Lisa here, and welcome to another edition of The Doctor Is In, where we are talking about strategies that will help you create healthy, profitable websites for your online business. And I have to apologize. My webcam is still acting wonky. Whenever I have to kind of adjust to see if I can find a better HD camera. Everything kind of comes grainy and everything, so it's just with my voice and my slides. But tonight I want to talk with you guys about positioning yourself. And what I mean by that is giving yourself a reason to exist. Excuse me. And I learned this I took a course this past spring on blogging from Ryan Deiss. And if you don't know who Ryan Deiss is, he is a very successful marketer and entrepreneur. And he was sharing with people a lot of times that when people start a blog or they're creating content or just getting involved into online marketing altogether, that they don't have they really are putting themselves at a disadvantage where they just put their message out there for everyone. And they think that if they do that, people will just find them and they're going to make money. And so he came and shared a perspective of how we need to kind of change our mindset and really, when we start at the beginning and having, who we're really looking for, that is going to save, a lot of headache, and you're going to find the people who want to buy your stuff. They want your product, they want your service, or they want to join your opportunity. You're not going to be sitting there. You're finding your fishing hole with the fish you want, to give you a good metaphor there. So basically what he titled it was to give yourself a reason to exist. And a reason to exist does not mean that you are the expert in your market, okay? It means you have an absolute passion for your market. And it sets you apart from your competition, and it really answers the question, why should I listen to you? Okay, and have you ever noticed sometimes when you go to up here in Minnesota, we have the Minnesota State Fair, and it happens the last two weeks in August, runs right up until Labor Day, and they have on their main fairgrounds, they have what's called this grandstand. And inside the grandstand, there are all these demonstration booths, and they're pitchmen. And they will constantly pitch product. And a lot of, and I remember when I would go through those, you'd be hearing all these, when you think about how the infomercial industry started with, like ShamWow guy and that Billy Mays who did the OxyClean, they learned from being at these, fairs, running their little demonstration booths. And so basically, people who tended to stop at these booths tended to be the people or the pitchmen who had an absolute passion for what they were selling, because they were excited by this product. They were so jazzed by the benefits that this product, has. So what you have to think about is how often do you wind up, when you get into internet marketing, you're pitching a product or you're promoting a product that you have really no passion about. And you have to wonder, that comes through when you're trying to talk with a customer or prospect. I can tell you from firsthand experience that when I'm excited about something and I'm sharing a product or a service, I get more people, wanting to talk to me and wanting to know more. And to just give you a quick example, at the end of September, I discovered I went in on my mentor shared this with me, and actually I got in with her on a uh, using a lead generation system that has this wonderful website creation software with it, where you could literally create a professional looking website in the time it takes to listen to one song on iTunes. I kid you not. And I was playing around with the software and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I spent a rainy Saturday afternoon and all of a sudden, I just started cranking out websites, on anything on a hobby or a topic that I liked. And I was sharing it on Facebook, just saying, hey, look what I just created here and da 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 da. All of a sudden, I wound up having people contacting me going, how did you do that? How did you do that? Can you show me what that is? And I wound up just giving them the link then at that point. And over the weekend, I made maybe 8 or 9 sales just from sharing, because I was so excited and passionate about about this tool. And I do have some tech savvy skills, but the the cool thing about that is I was talking to people who didn't have a lot of tech savvy skills, and I gave them in fact, I was able to give them a link where they could sign up and they could test drive it and this software for free, and they would test drive it, and they were blown away. And watching them get excited, that's what got me even more excited. So what this means is that really sit back, and if you don't have a product that you're passionate about, then you really got to sit back and you have to think about a product or get in, promote a product that you can stand behind, that gets you excited, gets you motivated, and you can't wait to share it. And that's one of the first big steps you have to really look at, is making sure that you find that product that is just going to get you all excited. And it's because that's what's going to keep you going, because some people may not share that same passion that you have with that product. And so when you have those moments, or, and like we talked about before, we have these seasons where people buy. I mean, typically summer months are tend to be slow months for sales, no matter what you're promoting. So, when you have those times when things are kind of slow and you're not making the sales, that passion for that product is it's gonna help keep you going. So basically, to what Ryan talked about, there are really 3 ways to position yourself. And those 3 ways are being the expert, the average Joe, and the reporter. And I'll say those again. The expert, the average Joe, and the reporter. Let's go through each one a little bit more carefully. So the first one is position yourself as the expert. And that basically means you have the knowledge, all right? Which means, this is somebody, like for example, if you were, let's say, like a chiropractor, and you're going to be sharing or promoting a service with certain exercises to improve your back. If that chiropractor, you're the expert, you had all this training, and you can share that, okay? Or you're somebody who is, you are an expert at, building, building a website and knowing what you need to have on that website to make sales. And, and you have the social proof, that, you've made some, you've obviously, made money with it. But the thing is that, you have a good deal of knowledge about the subject or the market or the product. Now, what you have to understand is you cannot fake it until you make it. That is a big no-no. You want to position yourself that is congruent to who you are. And if you are not an expert, don't try to pass yourself off as one. So if you're brand new to internet marketing, don't try to act like a guru. And this is something that, when I look at some people, and I'm not singling anybody out in particular, but when I go to when I get these friend requests, I get about maybe 10 friend requests a day on Facebook. And I come across, and people will, and I'll see on their timelines, people flashing money and these expensive cars, and and all they have on their profile are their links to their opportunities, and they're coming off and trying to say that they're an expert in something. People can sniff out if you are not, true to who you are and that you're faking it. Even online, people are really good at figuring that out. So just make sure if you're going to go the expert route, you have knowledge of the product, okay? You have a deep knowledge of the market. And the key thing is that you're providing value, okay? Because if you're always providing value, you don't need to be, bragging yourself up as an expert or faking it, okay? When you have a passion for something, okay, you're not faking that passion. That, passion is genuine. Passion is authentic. Now, the second type of positioning that Ryan talked about was positioning yourself as an average Joe. Now, this is, if you have to put yourself as, expert as at one end of the continuum, the average Joe is at the opposite end, okay? And a typical example of this would be, and this is something you would see people when they sign up for a network marketing company and they just get in. This is more of an honest positioning where you're saying, I really don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm excited right now and I want to share with you what I'm doing. Or, you're just starting out and you're creating your first pieces of content. Maybe you're doing Google Hangouts like this to educate your audience. Maybe you're doing, a video log, or you're doing a blogging or a video blog, and you're basically saying, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm excited right now and I want to share with you what I've been learning from being with my mentor or with this company. And that's another good way. And people are drawn to that. People are drawn to the average Joe. But what you have to understand too is that it's not going to carry you very far, okay? Because a lot of times when you want to get people to come in with you, you do have to have, and as you're building your business, you are going to establish, some credibility, and you're going to get some knowledge, and that will help set you apart from the competition, okay? So, it's perfectly fine to start as an average Joe, but eventually you're going to want to move out from the average Joe, either to becoming the total expert, or you can go into what what Ryan calls is the reporter. And this is something that I see a lot of online marketers use, a lot of network marketers use, and they are very successful with the way they position themselves into the marketplace as a reporter, which is, I'm not the expert, but I know someone who is. Let me introduce you to them. And a great example of a reporter is, think of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read that book, you really need to read it. And basically, Napoleon Hill was the godfather and the grandfather of the self-development, self-improvement, self-help industry. Because what Napoleon Hill did, he himself was not a millionaire by any means. All he did was interview Andrew Carnegie, who at the time was the world's richest man, and his friends, and came up with what were these principles of success and how to make money and really be successful. And it was the mindset and the specific things that these millionaires did. So that is an example of being if is the reporter. So if you are coming in brand new into online marketing or brand new into internet marketing, come in as a reporter, because then what you can do is you can still say, hey, I just got in, I'm so excited, let me share with you what I've learned so far, but this person here knows more about certain things than I do, and I really want you to get get all the information you need to make an informed quality decision to see if this product, service, or joining this opportunity will be a benefit to you. Do you see where I'm coming from there? So you want to make sure that you're positioning yourself properly. Now, before you hit the marketplace, you really have to know what market you are going to enter into. And this is somewhere, like I said, you can't assume that your product is going to be for everybody. Let me give you an example. If you are, promoting weight loss pills, you're certainly not going to want to enter in to, a marketplace and be talking to, men and women who are already at their optimal health and fitness. They're at the ideal weight there. They've got ripped bodies. They're not, they're in the size 3 dress, or they have the 28-inch waist if you're a man. Okay, you're not going to want to market your weight loss product to them because they don't need it. So what you need to do to attract people to come to you is you want to create what Ryan called the customer gravatar. And this is important, and I just want to just list some points here to consider. Is you want to find the people, okay, that are waking up in the middle of the night because they're struggling with a problem, and at 2 in the morning, that's got them up at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, and they're typing into Google, search terms that are going to help them solve their problem. So to find those people is you come up with this gravatar. So these are some things I want you to consider. So if you have your notebook, get your notebook out. Call it My People Notebook. I have one. I write in it all the time. And basically, you're going to create your customer profile. So think about right now your, if you do have a product or an opportunity you're promoting, okay, you're going to want to get into the head of that, the market, how your product's going to fit, okay, what market's going to fit to your product. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to make this customer, this specific customer, real to you. So you're going to want to give them a fictitious name, age, hometown, gender. This is all very important, okay? And it is. I mean, are you going to be targeting more males with this product or more females, or are you targeting a mix? How much is this customer making? Are they married, single, divorced? Do they have kids, no kids? Are they empty nests? What are their hobbies and interests? Are they more emotional? Do they buy immediately on demand? You don't have, or are they really logical? Do they take a lot of time? Do they have to really think about things before they make a decision? They generally happy? Are they generally sad? Do they have a lot of fears? Are they introverted or extroverted? Are they blue collar? They work in factories? Are they, they do a lot of work with their hands? Are they more white collar corporate? What are the buzzwords, the vocabulary of the market? And that one is really super important because when you write up your content, you want to make sure you're including those buzzwords in there so that you get that Google love and it helps you get ranked in the search engines. So if you have that down ahead of time, and the more detailed and specific you are, all of a sudden, you don't need to have such a wide net. Okay? You don't need millions and millions of people in your marketplace. You can have a smaller marketplace, but you're going to have raving fan customers and a core group of buyers that are going to be interested in what you're selling. Okay, you're going to have higher opt-in rates. You're going to have more engagement if on your blogs. They're going to be talking about it more with their friends. Do you see where we're going here? So the more specific you make it, those people are going to be drawn to you. And if you are able to, come up with something that would be able to help people, where you're relating to people, you are building that know, like, and trust. Okay, people don't join. I'm going to say this again. People don't join businesses. They don't join for product. They don't join for services. They don't join opportunities or compensation plans. They join and work with people who they know, like, and trust. And this is a great way to show and to build that empathy and to build that trust. And people are just going to gravitate to you because they're going to know you're authentic and you're real. So once you get that customer gravatar done, then you're going to want to create an elevator pitch, okay? And basically, this is going to be something that will help you whenever you're talking to people on the phone, or you're talking to someone via instant messaging, or you're meeting someone, out on the street, online or offline. Basically, you're able to sum up your business in a condensed version, short enough to get your concept across to people within 30 seconds. Okay? So, like I said, we'll go into your Google Plus profile, or or any social media profile. You want to keep it very clear and concise. You don't want to be using specific technical buzzwords. Okay? You want to keep it, general. You're using a question which will gaze interest. You know your business, and you want to focus on how you help people, the problems you solve. Okay? Now, this is the most important thing. Nobody cares what you do. It's about how you do it. Let me say that again. Nobody cares about what you do. It's how you do it. Now, let me give you an example of what an elevator pitch is. And I thought this was a really great example. And this is from Venture Beat magazine. Do you know how parents are after their kids are grown up? They want to get rid of all their baby stuff? Well, I offer an online auction website that lets them sell their used baby stuff within a week, or we'll offer to buy it from them. Do you know of any parents that want to get rid of their used baby stuff? Okay, look at how that set everything up. The use of the question, it solves a problem that A lot of people, the empty nesters or the kids are finally growing up and you've got all this, baby and kid stuff left, and you want to get rid of it. And you just don't want to, some people in this economy, they want to get rid of it and get a profit from it. Okay, so look at how they put that together. Now, if you read that elevator pitch or someone said that elevator pitch to you, and if you look at the market, they're looking at, empty nesters, or they're looking at, families that, are kids that are, teenagers now. See where that market is? And they've already piqued the interest of that market. That's a common problem. So this is probably going to get a lot, this is probably, they're probably, the people who use this as an elevator pitch, more than likely they're going to get a lot of business. So we've come to the, end of our hangout here, so I want to give you Doc's prescription. So tonight I want you to get out your notebook and I want you to decide how you're going to position yourself. Are you going to be the expert? Are you going to be the average Joe? Or are you going to be a reporter? Make that decision. Get clear on that. Then I want you to develop your customer gravatar. And really spend time to do this now. Because if you take the time now, you're going to wind up having more people. You're going to have a greater chance of having more success quicker, okay, rather than sitting there and going through all this trial and error. Then I want you, after you created that gravatar, create your elevator pitch. And then I want you to practice that elevator pitch by, write it up and practice it on your dog, practice it with your spouse, or better yet, envision yourself in front of that customer person that, you wrote that customer gravatar on. Put them right there and do that pitch. Who cares if it's just imaginary? But the more you practice it out loud, the more you're going to internalize it and the better you're going to get. Now, again, please leave me comments and feedback. I greatly appreciate that. And like I said, I'll have these recordings up on my YouTube channel. I will also have them on my blog, so you can review them at any time. So have a good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. And this is the doctor signing off, and tune in tomorrow as we will discuss other strategies on how you can build healthy, profitable websites. Take care.